Minimax takes to the circuit for their first of two races here at Wittgenborn, and here is your starting grid. After qualifying, Montego Marcin from Nice Racing in the 111 starts from pole position, and will have the 107 of Karchmi.de's Austin Lee alongside. Leandro Fischer in the 136 from RS Competition will have the 174 of Hugo Guttel running alongside on row number 2. Miko Mikov in the 102 from Kartsport Klim will have Nice Racing's Jonas Ungnada in the 158 alongside, with Tom Müller in the 122 and David Schnell in the 112, completing the top 4 rows. David Girush in the 121 from Schollenberger Racing, and Moritz Wolber. As it looks like we've had one of the drivers languish a little bit further behind the grid, and that looks to be that is the 103 of Adrien Rohr, who would have started alongside Mika Trapp, as Moritz Wolber starts from 10th position. Maximilian Schreier, Naim Bretag complete the starting order. As now Adrien Rohr now exits the chicane over towards the far part of the circuit. 9 minutes on the clock, plus 1 lap. They split, go into the tram lines, they push the accelerators hard to the floor, and it is lights out. We are off and away. And Fischer gets the jump on Austin Lee going through into turn 1, but Lee keeps it pinned around the outside. As a couple of cars get compromised going through the next left-hander. And that is Miko Mikov, who drops all the way down to the penultimate race position. As Fischer has a moment, loses 2 places, down from 3rd to 5th place goes Leandro Fischer. Well, he was running as high in 2nd place at one point, but Montego Marcin now being pressurised by Austin Lee, and there's been a multi-card incident, including the likes of Jonas Ungnada, Tom Müller in the 158 and the 122. And in that, you've also got the likes of possibly the one. There were 4 carts that I noticed as the drivers come across the line. Montego Marcin being pressurised by Austin Lee, who is only 3.5 tenths of a second behind. David Schnell now being pressurised by Moritz Wolber in the 115 for 3rd place. Mika Trapp, David Girush, Hugo Guttel, Jonas Ungnada, Maximilian Schreier and Naim Bretag round out the top 10. Tom Müller now in 11th, Miko Mikov in 12th, Leandro Fischer in 13th, with Adrien Rohr a considerable few corners behind. So the 2 leaders have got a breakaway of over 1.8 seconds, as David Schnell still being pressurised by the 115 of Moritz Wolber. But Lee is not letting Marcin out of the line of sight. They come around the final corner to complete lap 2. Austin Lee sets the fastest lap of the race with a 50.3 dead. On that time round, bringing the gap down as Tom Müller round the outside there of Maximilian Schreier. Through into turn 1, but then Schreier gets through. As now the 2 leaders, plus now what is going to be the top 7, rounded out by Hugo Guttel, as Jonas Ungnada has now got a 5-second pushing penalty that will be added to his race time post-race. So the top 2 battling away, and Austin Lee, I think, definitely wants to break the winning streak that Montego Marcin has so far, who picked up all 3 race victories yesterday. And it's about consistency when it goes for a title, as there is an absolute hive of activity a bit further down towards the back part of the order, and that is being led by the 166 of Maximilian Schreier. Tom Müller now down in 11th behind Miko Mikov. So Mikov in the 102, being pressurised by the 122. As the leaders make their way to the far part of the circuit. Austin Lee looks to close. The gap has been truncated by about 1/10 of a second over the last couple of laps. David Schnell still keeping Moritz Wolber at bay. Mika Trapp keeping ahead of David Girush and Hugo Guttel, with Hugo Guttel trying to get past the 121. The gap looks a lot closer this time, about a cart length and a half. And that's 0.166, that's nearly a tenth taken out of Montego Massen's lead by Austin Lee, who again sets the fastest lap of the race. A 49.247 on that particular occasion. Now they go in towards the right-hander, towards the chicane here at Wittgenborn. Both bumping over the curbs on the left and the right-hand side, respectively. As Leandro Fischer trying to close up a little bit further towards those in front. He's got past Mikko Mikov, and then has Maximilian Schreier just up ahead, with Tom Miller now starting to break away from the quartet behind. Now we complete lap number 4 with Massen still leading. As up the inside of Schreier goes Leandro Fischer, and so does Mikko Mikov in the process. Hugo Guttel has got past David Girouche for 6th place. And the gap between Montego Massen, who's now put in the fastest lap of the race, of 49.032, extends the gap over Austin Lee by just 0.4 of a second. As David Schnell still fending off Moritz Wolber, as we have 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go on the clock for the penultimate race for Minimax this season. Gap between the two leaders jumps to just under 0.4 as Austin Lee goes 6 thousandths quicker on that last lap time in comparison with Montego Massen. Schnell was quicker than Wolber, the 49.382 from the 112, and the 115 putting in a 49.511 as Austin Lee looks to close the gap once again on Montego Massen as they head through the left-hand sweeper down towards the hairpin. And in the braking zone, looks like Austin Lee was a little bit more brave on the brakes. Three minutes and 17 still left on the clock, plus one additional lap. The two leaders cross the line to complete lap number 7. Montego Massen takes a quick glance over the left shoulder. Austin Lee goes over a tenth quicker, 0.131 seconds to be precise. As Schnell looks to try and bridge the gap to Wolber, who sets a personal best and is within 0.3 of the 112 from Karczmi.de. They now make their way through the chicane. So Mika Trapp leading Hugo Guttel and Jonas Ungenada, with the latter will receive a 5-second time penalty for pushing post-race. As up the inside of David Schnell goes Moritz Wolber, who takes a quick look over the right shoulder. Mika Trapp still holding on for 5th place, but not for much longer as Jonas Ungenada goes up the inside. That allows Hugo Guttel to go towards the switchback opportunity, but through the penultimate corner, not enough of a momentum carry for the 174. But David Girouche definitely fancying an opportunity as Guttel looked towards the outside of Mika Trapp going through turn 1. Not really enough of an opportunity to get round there as the leaders now make their way through towards the far part of the circuit again. As Mika Trapp still looking behind, Hugo Guttel waiting to have that opportunity, looks towards the outside of the 118. Now goes towards the outside once again to get the cut back through, and this time looks like David Girouche tried to make the move through, but didn't get the run out of the corner. Hugo Guttel had a good turn of speed going through the next right-hander and could have got up the inside of Mika Trapp, but on that particular occasion that did not happen. Austin Lee was just under 0.2 behind Montego Massen and set the fastest lap of a 48.783 through into the chicane once again. Time is fast running out, just over 60 seconds on the clock remaining. So Montego Massen pulls away a little bit, coming out of the hairpin, and gets a bit more of an advantage to his favour in front of Austin Lee. So with over double figures completed in terms of laps, the gap between first and second now is just over 4 tenths. Montego Masson puts in a 48.812 as Hugo Guttel was looking very, very close to the back bumper of Mika Trapp in the 118, the 111, the 121 of David Girouche. Still battling away, Ungrada trying to get some headway at the moment and has a 2.3 second advantage over Mika Trapp at the minute. But this could drop at the moment. If the race was to finish right now, it would drop Ungrada down to 9th place as the time now expires. Last lap board for Montego Masson. 1 lap away from a 4th successive victory after also having taken pole position this morning. But Austin Lee really has that great chance, as that is an absolutely brave and that was a brilliant overtake there from Hugo Guttel. I nearly ran out of breath there. Round the outside of Mika Trapp through into turn 1, kept it pinned to the outside and got through before turn 2. So as Maximilian Schreier crosses the line to be the last driver to take the final lap board in this race, the 2 leaders this time around will get the checkered flag. It has been a pretty intense battle between the pair, but the 4th race victory of the weekend in a row goes to Montego Masson by 0.437 seconds ahead of Austin Lee. Moritz Volber beats David Schnell to 3rd place and celebrates. Jonas Ungnada finishes 5th on the road, but will drop out down considerably. I think Ungnada will drop towards the bottom part of the top 10. So Hugo Guttel will take 5th place. Mika Trapp will take 6th. David Girouche will, I think, by my reckoning, end up in 7th ahead of Tom Müller, with Ungnada, I think, either being 9th or 10th. Leandro Fischer completed the top 10 on the road. Mikko Mikov takes 11th ahead of Adrian Rohr with 9 Bretag. And Maximilian Schreier completing the 14 strong that finished the race.